Hey, welcome back to another episode from Live on Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic I have for us this week, I do like to say if you'd like to know one or two things about Life on Living Well community, you can check it out on our website at www.lifeonlivingwell.com. And if you also like to contribute to this podcast or read or the article on our website, you can just drop me an email. If you just type hello at lifeforlivingwell.com, or you can just go to the contact me form on the website. You will be able to get there. Without taking much of your time, let's dive in to the topic we have this week. It's a continuation of the topic we've been looking at last week from the last podcast. So we look at how to develop wisdom, and we talk about three ways Confucius stated that you can develop wisdom. So this week I'm looking at power of reflection. Out of the three Confucius mentioned in his exhortation and his meditation, put it down that three ways that you can develop wisdom. So I'm looking at the reflection one. Like we normally do, we used to take very influential individual, whether now or in the past, and find a way that they've already treated the topic we're looking at and use their word as a way of inspiration, and then we can build around it. So for this particular topic, I'm taking from Thomas Paine, and he put reflection this way: the real man smiles in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection. So, and this is the thing that we emerge when you're able to practice and embrace reflection to your day to day, or to the setbacks in your life or disappointment. So you will develop enormous braveness that will come out of it. And not only that, you will also able to get the strength out of it. So you will see more by the time we get down into the topic. So in the previous discussion, we explored three ways or paths through which wisdom can be developed. But this week, we approach the topic from a reflective perspective. As mentioned in the earlier podcast, reflection is a key component of wisdom and can help people gain a deeper understanding of life and themselves. So there are many reasons why it might be challenging to incorporate reflection into our daily activities. If you imagine it, if you think about it, it could be so many things that within our own control or outside our own control. Without a deliberate and intentional approach, it can be difficult to make time for self-reflection on our actions and behavior. So let's examine the benefit of reflection and how it can help us better understand life and ourselves. Number one, making sense of life experiences. Whether you like it or not, life is too short. And things will happen, things you like and things you don't like. But because of the power of reflection, it helps you to be able to make sense of those experiences. So when you take time to reflect, it can shift your unconscious mind perspective on life challenges. Thing that you think is really, really bad, it might actually be the thing that you look back and you be grateful that it happened in your life at that time. It might be the thing that tests your character, your courage, your ability to reinvent yourself, because you have all those things, and sometimes it needs to be tested. Either you tested it by yourself or something outside of you tested it. Whoever owns you control you. So if you let the job, money, time control you, they own you. Number 2, learning to think more deeply. It is very difficult things to really accommodating because we have too many things that distract us. Our focus is so limited that we wanted to do a lot of things, but we have a limited time here. You cannot know everything. You cannot learn everything because you don't have enough time to do that. You have 24 hours, and then you stock yourself with more things to do, and it takes your focus and attention away. So learning to think more deeply, it means that you deliberately embrace reflection and you're able to give yourself time to reflect upon a thing or situation. Have you ever wondered how some people are able to transcend what they have learned and achieve greater outcomes with better retention? Is it something you ask yourself? How come some people can do this and you are not able to do so? It could be because they deliberately create time to reflect, to think deep about things, not in the way that is overthinking or sabotaging about the negative thought in their mind. Number 3, learning from reality. This is what the reflection will be able to bring into your life. It will slow you down to be able to take lesson that you can learn from it. In every situation, there's always things that you can learn. Only when you actually brave to look into it. By taking action based on what you have learned, you will realize that true understanding comes not just from studying books, but from real world experience. And number 5, obstacle become the way. With increased insight, you begin to see obstacle not as barrier, but as opportunity for growth. So you're able to understand yourself, know what exactly you really want, and you have the courage and boldness to go for it. Prepare to do the hard work and able to enjoy the fruit of your hard work. Life is like a coin. It has two sides. If one side fakes you and you really don't need to get stuck, you can flip the other side. I once met a friend who happened to be a friend at the time. It was a very tough time in my life. A longer relationship was ended, and I was in the path of discovering myself, like they normally say. So I took a jump to do Europe trips, moving from Spain to Portugal. While I was in Portugal, I was exploring different sites, and I met this French young lady. She was doing the same thing, but we have different reasons why we are doing it. She was doing it in the sense that she finally left her good jobs in France, sold her flat, and not only want to move out of Europe, She was living in Spain to pick up the Spanish language, and then she came to Portugal on holiday. And she also decided to move to South America. And I said, why are you doing this? She said, I want to find myself. But she taught me something that day. As we were looking at this 17th, 18th century built building, like a castle, she said, Richard, close your eyes, take a picture. I didn't understand what she means. I close my eyes, I open my eyes, I cannot see the picture I'm taking. And she said, when the life sends you a rough, remember to look at the picture that you're taking today. It was a powerful word. It was a powerful philosophy. She's already found herself. And it's so powerful that I now focus, instead of focus on things that is not working, I focus on things that could work. I focus on things that are already working. And I continue to improve things that can be improved. Our word that day was live with me longer. And that is over 10 years ago. So it could be your story as well. Use reflection as a tool for the betterment of your well-being, your mental health. Nothing in this life should throw you off balance, except things within yourself. Anything outside of yourself is temporary. It is impermanent. So how to incorporate reflection into daily life? To make reflection a habit, try the following strategy. Personally, I use all of them. So you could choose one of them and you could just use this to help you. Keep a journal, number one. And your journal doesn't need to be something complicated or fanciful thing. It could just be that you wrote a series of questions and you're able to genuinely, intentionally create the time to answer it. Some of the questions you may not really have answer to it, but you hold you accountable, such as, what are my intentions today? You have a 4 bullet point that you wanted to do. At the end of the day, when you reflect on your diary or journal, what did I do well today? Out of the 14 or 3 things you put down, how many of those things you managed to do? What are the things that you did that is not in your list for that day? And the next question in my own diary is, what can I improve tomorrow? So it's the daily things that I do that always add up to the bigger goal that I have for the whole year. Number 2, walk in nature or relax in an open space. Without passing a judgment, the more you do these things, the more you don't panic or have an anxiety about the event that you have control that suddenly happen to you, or opinion of others, not their perspective. Everyone have their own interest, and when their interest and your interest not align, they will offer you opinion. But when you walk in nature, you see how nature is at peace with itself, even though they are not equal. Even though some trees are on a straight top, while some trees are really bent, and you wonder if they can survive that evening. And a year later, they're still there. And everything in nature is at peace with itself. The tree doesn't have an anxiety about wind. When the wind comes, if you blow it to the south, it bends to the south. If you blow it to the east, it bends to the east. And it comes back to its original position. This is how I want you to develop yourself. Number 3, act on what you've learned. Not just learn things, act on it. The more you act on it, the more it becomes an habit for you. We are habitual being. We have series of an habit. Sometimes some of those habits are not helpful for us because we are unconscious of it. Lastly, engage in reflection with a cycle of trusted friends who can brainstorm or reflect with you. It could be your spouse, it could be your close friends. If you are comfortable with that, yes, it's a vulnerability thing, but it's something that you cannot say. These individuals have a close insight to you, and they can see the other thing. You cannot see your back. When somebody is at your back and you trust their judgment to extent, you can reflect together. So, as we bring this to the end, reflection-based wisdom is often considered noble and can awaken dormant curiosity. Asking yourself questions like, why do I always approach things the way I do, can lead to meaningful insight if approached deliberately. It is also essential to find ways to reduce distraction, such as social media, TV, and environmental noise. And environmental noise could be anything. Could be new hype, could be new jobs, could be anything. To create space for deep reflection. I hope this message touched someone. As we are approaching 20 minutes, I would like to bring this to the end. And like I said, if you like to know one or two things, or you like to receive weekly article about this podcast, you can also sign up on our website, and please share the link. Let other people know if this particular podcast will be a blessing to you. Please share it and let us continue to grow as a community. And I wish you all the well. I wish you best, and I wish you safe and loving kindness. Thank you for your time. Ciao.